Hello everyone, welcome back to Blanqui's Creations. My inspiration came from Walmart, and here I'm just taking an empty Gucci clothes box. The black part is the bottom of the box, and I'm laying my flower pot on top of it, and I'm using a ruler to give me a straight edge. I'm going to just cut that side all the way around, and the side piece is going to become right there. That's going to become the what constructs the box back together, and I'm going to cut that all the way around. I'm going to do the same steps with the bottom box, using that side piece as my guide to cut the bottom box because the boxes overlap. Now I used a lot of hot glue to reinforce the box edge together. And as you can see here, this is me just using a lot of hot glue to glue that side piece. I'm making sure that it is all well put together because this is going to hold all those bases. That piece right there, I put it inside with some hot glue, and it's just reinforcement. You may choose not to create a base for your DIY. You don't need to do one. I made mine because I wanted height. I wanted it to stand up and look taller because I didn't want to put it on top of a table. That piece that I'm using there to guide me to cut the right amount on the bottom part of the box is from the top part. And as you can see there, I just made lines, and now I'm using the ruler to give me that straight edge. I'm not going to use the boxes like you would use them if there was clothes in it. I'm just putting the box inside the other box, and then the bottom part is going to be hollow. For that reason, I cut out the different strips and I glue them inside the box to give it stability. Here I'm just using some hot glue, a generous amount of hot glue, and I'm going to place the bottom lid inside the top lid. And now I'm gonna glue the side piece right there, and that's going to create the 4 walls to each of the lids. I'm just reinforcing everything with hot glue. Placing one lid inside the other and flipping it around is going to give you the illusion that there's 2 different layers to the base, when in all actuality there isn't. And that's why I decided to do it like this. And now I'm taking that piece and I'm cutting off other pieces from that one piece of the lid, and I'm going to use those pieces to reinforce the inside of those 2 lids, so that when all the flower pots are on top of it, it doesn't collapse. These strips that I'm cutting out, I am going to hot glue them in the inside of the base to give it stability. That's what I'm doing here. I did it off camera. Now, through the magic of editing, I'm going to cut out that top edge of the flower pot. I'm going to put it to the side, and I'm going to hot glue that flower pot facing down on that base that we just made. Here I'm just using hot glue to hold that base in place. Now I took strips of aluminum foil, and that's the size. This is Dollar Tree aluminum foil. I took strips that small, and I took 3 the same size. Then I twisted them around to create something that looked like a braid, or like when people do dreads on their hair. That's all that I did. Now that's going to be hot glued on the bottom where the base meets the flower pot. And I'm going to do that all the way around. Please keep in mind that you're working with cardboard, plastic, and aluminum foil. When you're hot gluing this on the base of the cardboard and the plastic, hold it in place. I took that silicone flower mold that I purchased from Dollar Tree on Valentine's, and I made these flowers. I let them dry. I used a YouTube recipe to create my own air dry clay. I will try and look for that, and I will put it in the description box down below. I took 3 of those air dry clay flowers, and I put them all the way around the base, 1 on each corner and 1 in the middle. Now here I took some of those smaller flower pots from the Dollar Tree, and I am hot gluing one, as you can see there, only where the flower pot meets the bottom flower pot. Now I took this type of candle holder from the Dollar Tree, and I hot glued it. I didn't show the strong adhesive, but I did also put strong adhesive. Then on top of that glass candle holder, I put another one of those flower pots the same size. And then here I already put the strong adhesive. I just put some hot glue, and I am putting that flower pot on top of that one. I took 2 of these shower curtain rings, and I placed them on 1 on each side to make it look like handles, because I wanted this to look like a vintage flower urn. I added some plastic butterfly rings that I cut the backing off of them, and I hot glued them to the top of the shower curtain rings. I did the same kind of swirls with thinner strips of aluminum foil, and I put them to the flower. Now here I'm just adding some texture to make it look like stone, and as you can see, I mixed some white with some darker gray that I mixed, and with this type of brush I'm just dabbing it all over the entire piece. With a smaller brush, I'm giving it certain shadows or highlight, and the more you go over it and you blend the colors, the better it'll look. This is the finished piece. It is now drying so that I can go on to the next step. Now then I took one of these dowels from Walmart. That's the size. I took these eggs that I also purchased from Walmart. And these were $1.99, and they're like humongous. So then I took my utility knife and I made a cross where I wanted that dowel to be at to help it through. Then I twisted and turned, and as you can see here, this is what I did. First, I made sure I knew how I wanted the egg to go in that dowel. Then I did a crisscross. Make sure that you are holding the utility knife correct, or if not, that blade could break. and I just did that to help the dowel along. Then I twist and I turn, and if you need to do the same thing with the utility knife so that it could go through. This one was a little bit harder because it had like a shinier coat to it, but the other ones weren't. And that's all that I did. Now I did the other two off camera, and if you do them in different, different heights or shapes or whatever, you'll get something that looks like that. Now all the paint was dry on the flower pot. I put some hot glue in it, and I placed this piece of flower foam in it. Then I took a foam board and I traced the circle of the flower pot. Then I took that circle after cutting it and I painted green so that the white wouldn't show off when I put the moss on it. I made sure that before I put the moss on it, I made the hole where that dowel with the eggs are gonna go in, so that in case the moss goes on top of it, it doesn't cover that hole up. Now here I just used hot glue to spread some of that moss. Then I took one of these plastic clear cups, disposable, and it will melt a little bit if you're using hot glue, but I put moss all the way around it, and that little bunny is gonna go in there. It's gonna be like it's a little hole or whatever. Here I just cut some moss with my fingers, and then I did that once I put hot glue all the way around the edge. Then after everything was glued and dried, I put it on top of the flower base. Then I put some hot glue all the way around, holding that piece in place. Then I inserted that dowel with the eggs. I took some of these felt little carrots and these flowers that I purchased from Walmart, and I cut them off the stem and I glued them onto the eggs. I wanted a vintage look, and that's the look that I got. I am very pleased with the outcome of this DIY. I hope all of you guys like it. Please remember to give this video a thumbs up and hit that notification bell so that YouTube notifies you every time I upload a brand new DIY video. I will be making a few more Easter DIY videos, so please remember to subscribe, like the video, let me know what you think of this video, let me know if you have any ideas for any upcoming home decor videos. Remember to stay safe, be blessed, and be kind to yourself and others. I will be seeing you soon.